What's good, y'all? We are back once again with another philosophical sessions where we like to take a topic and let our thoughts flow and grow. I'm Kylan, and this is my beautiful wife.
Takara.
And together, we're the hosts of Mutual Intentional Love. So, wife, are you ready for this week's question?
Yep. What you got?
What version of yourself are you becoming? And is that who you want to be?
I mean, dang. Because obviously I would hope I'm becoming the very best version of myself, because that is the goal. That as you grow, that you would literally continue to grow and to learn and mature, and within doing that you become the best version of you. So yeah.
Did you answer the question?
Yes. That which version, I mean, there's not like a name for the version I'm becoming. It's my best self. Like it's me. It's who I am, maturing, evolving, growing. And do you remember how you worded it? Because you said, which version are you becoming, and is it who you want to be?
Yes.
Right. So that part is what made me say, dang, because like, is it who you want to be? We all like make mistakes. I know I certainly do. I certainly have moments where, no, this is not who I want to be. This is not how I wanted to conduct myself or react to whatever may have taken place. So in that case, no. But I'm also at all points in life going to remain human. So that's going to happen. And I think that the version that I am and becoming is more aware of it happening and being accountable. Although accountability was not really too much of a struggle for me, like it is for some people. Not talking about my husband, because it is not for him either. But I just had some people in my mind immediately, and I didn't want it to get it confused, because it is not my husband. So y'all should know that. Yeah. So, but anyways, point is that being aware of, not I didn't handle that in my best way that I could have. So, yeah. I feel like, I don't know, I guess to ask you, like, what did you have like a name for the version of yourself?
I have to like actually get into the question to even give an answer for that.
This piece of hair is really just driving me nuts. You'd have to get into the question. We'll get into it.
So you're done?
I mean, yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so ask me the question.
Oh.
Ask me the question.
Well, what you asked is, what is the version of yourself that you are becoming, and is it who you want to be?
Yeah, man. That is such complex question. And it is...
It's funny because you asked it.
It's all the things. Yeah. And I knew when I came up with this question that it would be one that would really make me think.
Yeah.
And I actively did not think of an answer because I wanted this to happen here.
Yeah.
And now that I'm here and actually taking a moment to literally hear the question and have it being posed to me,
yes,
it's a lot to sit with. And I would say for me, the version of myself that I am currently not even becoming although I suppose it's always an active becoming because the ebb and flow of everyday life and the passage of time. I would say there is currently a lot of internal shifts and fluctuations happening currently right now for me. Like I feel like I'm in a phase of metamorphosis almost,
Okay.
and growth, and almost like a reset of sorts.
Mm.
Because I feel like I plateaued at a certain point of being set in exactly who I am and having that picture and vision of who I wanted to be. And now, having reached that last place that I was at, I'm now looking towards new places for myself.
Yeah.
Like I'm creating new goals and new ideals that I'm looking towards, and creating the actual version of myself that I would like to be. And I don't feel like I'm definitely not there yet. And I'm even still building who that person is and what that person looks like.
Yeah.
So it's not as if I have a clear picture in my mind that says that is my ideal perfect version of myself.
Right.
Because I'm not entirely sure what that person looks like at this current moment of my life.
I know mine has a better body.
Interesting. Not surprising, but interesting for sure. But I would say also currently right now, I feel like to look at it in a certain way and to phrase this, I feel like a lot of the barriers that I had in place for myself are starting to shift and dissipate. To whereas a lot of the most vulnerable parts of myself, the most insecure parts of myself, the most intimate pieces of who I am are starting to appear. They're starting to move further to the forefront than they've ever been in my entire life, because I've always kept a certain facade up to where the actual core pieces of who I am were unreachable.
Yeah.
You get what I give and no more. And now it's starting to be more of an exploratory comfort of testing out my comfort levels of being all parts of myself at all times.
Yeah.
And that within itself is quite daunting and uncomfortable at times. And also, it leaves me in a place of uncertainty, because there's a certain level of control that I'm now giving up in order to be that person.
Yeah.
Whereas before, I could maintain a higher level of control, saying, you're only going to get so close to me. The rest of this is not for you. And now it's like, this is who I am, this is who you're getting, and I'm trying to be okay with that being the reality instead of constantly trying to be the person you would want me to be. That makes you most comfortable, that makes you most happy. I'm now trying to be the most authentic version of myself for myself and also have that be a person that would still be enjoyable and well received by those around me.
Right.
And even with like my level of patience and distance, a certain distance that I keep without being so deeply emotional. I feel like now, like even again going back to some of those layers starting to shift and dissipate, I feel like some of the obscurity that was there, I'm now starting to be a more reflective individual. Now that I'm sitting with my emotions and being more outwardly in tune to those emotions, I'm starting to mirror some of the emotions of others. Whereas before, I would be a little more hesitant because I'm so detached from what's going on. It's like you can say or do whatever and you'll get no reaction from me.
Mm-hmm.
I will not respond. I will not engage.
Mm-hmm.
But now I feel like I feel more reflective in that mirroring is happening more currently.
Is
So
that good or bad?
a bit of both,
Yeah.
because
Like more
whereas
easily influenced?
it's I'm more easily honest with my feelings as opposed to before. I would be so far detached from it. I'm you can say or do whatever. You'll never know how I feel about it
Okay.
because I'm not responding at all. I'm giving you nothing.
Yeah, I get it.
As opposed to now, I'm a little more free with my feelings.
That's so interesting that you said free. I was going to say finally said free, but it's not exactly fitting for me to say finally. It was just a question I had for you.
Yeah.
When you said that it feels daunting to release or relinquish some of the barriers and what did you say? You said like the barriers were allowing what exactly? Because my question was going to be like, do you have an example of the barrier? And whatever you said next, it was like, oh, okay, so it's literally a barrier that you're removing, which is letting your guard down.
Yeah.
And I just can't remember how you worded letting your guard down, because that's not what you said, but that's what you were saying.
Yeah, pretty much just allowing myself to feel emotions more than I do, more than I did, and just being more vulnerable and open with who I actually am.
Yeah, and you said it's daunting and that you're losing control. And I wanted to ask, like, but isn't it also freeing?
Only to a certain extent, because it now puts me in a level of foreign territory and uncertainty, whereas before I'm always 100% in control of how I'm reacting to this because I'm not reacting to it.
Right.
And that's the choice, to make sure I give you absolutely no reaction.
Yeah.
To feel the safest in myself.
It feels like what I'm going through at work.
And now I feel like with me starting to allow some of those feelings and emotions to be more apparent and open, like it creates more opportunities for conflict. That now I have to navigate conflict in new ways because I'm actually participating. Whereas before, there would be no participation in any form of conflict. But now the conflicts that arise are purely just natural emotions between two different people that are now able to have an even and equal playing field. So there's not really times now where, because I've learned the unhealthiness of it and the imbalance of keeping everything in. and pretending that nothing affects me when it does.
Right.
So now it's figuring out where's my new line.
Right.
Because now that I have to venture out of my bubble and expand the territory, what does that look like in being able to have a back and forth dialogue with somebody with a topic that is uncomfortable, that is emotional, that you're frustrated, I'm frustrated. So how do we navigate that to where we can actually have this conversation as opposed to me leaning on my older habits of silence and just not participating? You get nothing. And that's
Yeah.
a struggle for me at times to find that balance of, I don't like what you said, here's how I felt about it, that's not cool, and then feeding into the negative emotions of a situation that I don't really want to be party of at all. I don't want it to exist, but it does exist. So now what's my part in seeing it through to get back to a place of peace? And that's difficult to figure that new space of vulnerability and feelings out.
Yeah.
Without
I think it's just finding the balance of participating, but also not allowing your feelings to, like, it's hard to even explain, because like not allowing your feelings to affect you in a way where, like, before you give nothing, which means you weren't really feeling your feelings. So now you're participating and you are feeling your feelings. But I feel like you have to find that balance of feeling them versus acknowledging them. Like, before you weren't allowing them to exist. So now you are, and the hard part is the feeling of them. Yeah. So like, I feel like if you could just keep control of the feelings, then you'd be like, oh, I just like what I said, being more aware.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're aware of, if you're allowing yourself to participate in order to be aware of your feelings, then you can still use what you have already mastered, which is that level of control, and to then just build upon that, to be like, okay, like I'm feeling frustrated. You already used that as an example at some point.
Yeah.
So instead of taking on that frustration, it's just realizing, like, before it'd be like, I don't even care what you're saying. I'm out. Like, I'm not about to feel frustrated.
Yeah,
but now
sure.
You're like, no, I do care what you're saying. This does frustrate me, but I'm not going to take on that frustration. I'm just going to recognize that I'm frustrated and figure out what's frustrating me, to then be able to eliminate the frustration and solve your issue, whether that is, you address it within that moment, or you just be like, okay, now I know, and I can address it later when I'm feeling a little better.
I feel like to even deeper clarify from before, I would say that I was always aware and felt what I felt.
You just want to let others see.
Feel it strongly. Exactly.
Yeah.
They would never be allowed to see the results of those feelings, and I would never verbalize them. So pretty much it would be just,
I think this is like, well, finish your sentence, sorry.
Yeah, I you would get an emotionless face as you're saying or doing whatever, and I'm having the feelings that I feel about them, and then I would just work them through myself and process them in the way that I do. And now I I'm teetering back and forth in between the two versions of myself, and actively feeling in the moment and verbalizing in the moment, and leaning on my processing ability and trying to have a healthy cohabitation between the 2 to where it's working cohesively in the healthiest way possible, instead of using it as a crutch of sorts. And that's because it's not necessarily how I want to navigate certain situations.
Yeah.
Because it is frustrating if a situation occurs and then instead of being able to fully have that conversation and put out the fire immediately, it still has to, simmer for a little bit until I can go and unpack the hose, uncoil it, and then put the water on it. Like, that's too much. I should be able to just knock it out. Which, again, is kind of a level of a lot of pressure being put on myself, from myself, but also it's just who I am. I can't not do it. So
yeah,
it's just an interesting way of being.
that's fair.
Yeah. So what was your question or statement you had?
Yeah, I didn't have a question. I was just gonna say that it's like amazing how relatable what you're saying is, because how I said like, oh, it sounds like me at work. Like, obviously what you're saying for you and your perspective makes all the sense. And then like I'm just thinking about how like anybody watching, like I feel like it just should be relatable. Because like for me, especially like when you said like, and I wish I could remember because I can't, but at one point you said it's just not healthy. It's like, exactly, because I feel like in a corporate world, that's like you're just better off being how you're trying to not be any longer.
Yeah.
I think you're better off just and not, being that robot who doesn't feel and just is just like whatever and can't, and so and it can be unhealthy to not have a voice, to not be able to feel. And but like just to, I guess just to hear how you're feeling is the main point of saying that it's relatable, because it was. and even from your perspective alone, like not even like switching it to my perspective, like even from yours alone, I can relate to that as well. Like, it's a lot of work to deal with emotions.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with all of the just shifting day-to-day circumstances. There's a lot. And always trying to be the best version of self. And the reality of sitting with the moments of when you fall short, and the guilt and regret that comes with that, and all of the things, because it is tough for me to the very concept of failure, as we've spoken about before, is difficult for me. And any shortcomings of self is perceived as a failure to me. Like it doesn't have to be detrimental, but they are. They're detrimental, small failures happening, and that within itself is just very hard for me to swallow. even with the knowledge of knowing, it is being human. It's all the things. It's this and that. But it's the reality is you failed. You did.
I mean, okay.
You could have chosen differently. You could have, but hindsight is 20/20.
Exactly,
And
even within failure, you learn, and that's what's necessary for life in growing. You have to learn to grow.
Yeah, but again, you have to have a heightened level of responsibility with that, because there are a lot of people out here who are reckless with that chosen mindset of things happen, people make mistakes, and all of these things. You have to have a certain heightened level of responsibility with that, and accountability, because you have to understand that even with you being who you are, you're engaging with several other people. Like with us, like we're in a relationship. There are only certain levels of failures and mistakes and missteps that are kind of acceptable to where they're going to be now detrimental to our union.
Yeah, and I think that just keep using that same parallel of what you're saying, divorce or corporate world, you're fired.
Exactly. So you have to have that certain level of understanding that every little interaction matters.
Yeah.
And being parents, raising children, every interaction matters. We're literally shaping who they are, how they respond to things, what they remember, what they learn from us, and how they choose to interact with us and with other people due to what we have done in front of them, to them, around them. And all of that is a lot to constantly make sure that you're trying to be the best version of self in all of these different scenarios.
Yeah.
And it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is.
And where I feel like I am currently, I would say I am majority proud of where I've been able to be at.
Definitely.
Within all of it. But I'm also aware enough and critical of myself enough to know there are several areas in which I could improve. And especially with my level of patience at certain times and relinquishing some of my need to have productivity and not waste time, and those hard wirings that are hard for me to turn off. I'm still actively trying to turn them off.
Yeah.
So that it's not that constant looming pressure of, oh, we got to record. Oh, we got to do this. We have to work on this. We have to accomplish all of these things. There's only 24 hours. There's not enough time to do X, Y, and Z. And that is the constant pressure that is going on internally for me. But I want to try and alleviate some of that so I don't put that mindset on all of you, which it is starting to spill outward because it's just so much.
I get it.
And also the direction that I want our lives to go in and the trajectory that I'm trying to take us on.
And not waste any time getting there. Yeah. I do understand.
It is a lot.
It is a lot. And to be able to relax in the midst of it all, and that is just a refusal for you.
Yeah, it's a high level of impossibility. It really strongly feels that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, this was a very interesting question. I did
Yeah,
enjoy it.
I like the way that turned out. I think
Yeah.
that was a good conversation. And like I said, I feel like, you know, depending on what it is that people are going through in their own lives, that it really is relatable.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
yeah, like we just out here living life, just like y'all.
Actively.
Yeah,
Everything you're seeing is in real time.
yeah.
This is where we currently are right now, in this very moment, on this day, in this week, in this month, in this year. Like, this is our life.
Yeah.
And we're allowing you all into that experience of life and where we are with it. So you're not getting that perception of perfection with us. Like, that's out the window. I don't like that thing that people do on social media. They show you all the highlights and all of the super happy moments of the reality of life and what it really is, the things that make it valuable and worth living are largely missing.
Okay, yeah. I was about to say we still kind of doing it because everything we talked about, we did not give the details of like what's really going on.
But
Like,
largely we did though.
yeah.
And that's the thing that
Overall.
which was within itself is another topic of what we actively try to balance in threading the needle of being as genuine and authentic as possible while still respecting certain boundaries of having a level of privacy to our personal lives and the personal details that honestly that's not y'all business. So there's just that certain level that we are willing and open to sharing a lot, but there are certain things that should be respected.
Yeah.
And you know, if there is something that you feel like you do want to know or may want us to go more in depth on,
Yeah, I'd be wanting to spill all the deets.
if there's something that we've said or alluded to that you feel like, hey, what are they even talking about? Let's say more about that.
Right.
Put that in the comments.
Yeah.
Make a video, ask us, and we likely will be willing to shed some more light on that topic.
Yeah.
So
That's
as
good.
always, everybody, keep it intentional and support love. Stay well and prosper, y'all. Peace.
Peace.